Hi, I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be sharing how I did on my 40 books to read before I'm 40 challenge because my 40th birthday has come and gone in September, and now it's time to see how I did. I had 2 years and 4 months to complete this challenge, and let me just say first off, I did not read all the books, but I read quite a few of them, and I tried to focus on them as much as I could. So let's see just how I did. The first book on my list was The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch, which was one of the fantasy books that I've been wanting to read the longest. I did read this. I didn't love it as much as I thought I would, but it still was very good. I gave it 3.5 stars. Second book was Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and I started this one, but I didn't get very far at all. Let's see. 56 pages out of a million, I don't know, over 700. So I did start this one. I'm going to put that in the started, not finished list. The next book is The Stand by Stephen King. It took me forever, but I did eventually finish The Stand. And again, I didn't like it as much as I was hoping I would. I loved the first half. It was amazing, and I flew through it. And the second half was kind of a slog, and I didn't really like the direction it went. Fourth book is Red Dragon by Thomas Harris, which I did read. Yay, another one read. And I really liked Red Dragon. It was a serial killer, detective, mystery, police procedural type book that was really good. And then book 5 was The Silence of the Lambs, the second book in the Hannibal Lecter series. And I like this one as well. I did have some issues, same issues I have with the movie. It doesn't age well as far as its portrayal of trans person as the main villain, in my opinion. But it was really good. Book 6 was Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I did read Sense and Sensibility, and that is my favorite Jane Austen, I think. Well, yeah, I think Sense and Sensibility is my favorite. So I'm really glad I read that. Number 7 was Mansfield Park by Jane Austen, and I did not get to that one. That's in the no column. 8th is Emma, which I also need to read still. It's in the nose. Number 9 was Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, and I did read Northanger Abbey, and I really loved that book as well. I loved that she was such a gothic gothic book lover, and I really loved the main love interest in Northanger Abbey. He's my favorite. So it wins for best love interest, but not best book. 10 was Persuasion by Jane Austen. I also read that one, and it was really good as well. It was kind of Jane Austen's second chance romance, and it was good. Okay, that's it for Jane Austen. Next is The Damnation Game. I did start it, but I did not finish it. I started it in September, but I didn't make it for the deadline. Book 12 was The Books of Blood by Clive Barker. I did finish all these stories, volumes 1 through 3, and they are amazing horror short stories, and I highly recommend them. Book number 13 was Swan Song by Robert R. McCammon. I did finish this big chunky boy, and it's one of my favorite novels ever. Yes, I love Swan Song. I love this apocalyptic novel more than The Stand, and it is legendary. Number 14 is The Elementals by Michael McDowell, and I loved this book. Yes, I read The Elementals, and it's a new favorite. So glad I had it on my list to check out sooner rather than later. Next is Cold Moon Over Babylon by Michael McDowell. Love this cover. And I read this Michael McDowell as well. I am very much loving Michael McDowell's works. And this one was really spooky and lots of Southern vibes, Southern Gothic vibes. Love it. 16 was Carrying Comfort by Dan Simmons, and I did read that, and that was like a vampire book, and it was about like Nazis that were vampires and like evil vampires. And I liked that one, but not as much as I liked the next book on the list, which was The Tear by Dan Simmons. And The Tear was historical horror and so flippin' good. It's giant, but I loved it, and I'm glad I decided to prioritize it. Number 18 was Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. I've heard such great things about this series. I am very intimidated, and I have not even started it yet. Despite it being on many TBRs, I never seem to get to it. Book 19 was The Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry, and I did finish this one, and I love this book. I haven't read very many Westerns, but this one is great, so maybe I'll try some more. Book 20 was Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell, and I was planning on reading this, but I never did. It was on a TBR too. Book 21 was The Road by Karmic Mccarthy, and despite wanting to read this so stinking bad, I never could fit it in. Oh well. Book 22 was A Confederacy of Dunces by John Kennedy Toole, and I did not get to this one. Number 23 is We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver, another book that I desperately want to read and did not get to at all. Number 24 was Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes, and nope. I mean, they've been on TBRs, and I just can't read everything on my TBR. It's wild. Book 25 is Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, and nope, didn't read that. Number 26 was Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. I did start this one. I got a good chunk done, maybe 25%, but I did not finish this one. And the characters are so unlikable in here. Super unlikable. And yet, I can't stop reading, right? I really want to finish this. And, you know, it's like scandalous and full of drama, and I ship the main characters, even though they are awful people, because they deserve each other. Number 27 is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, and I did not have time to read this. Oh, another one I want to read so bad. Number 28 was Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut, and despite it being tiny, somehow I didn't have time to read it. Oh well, but I will be reading it soon, I'm sure. Number 29 was I, Robot by Isaac Asimov, and I did read these robot short stories, and they were great. So I'm glad I got to that one. Number 30 is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, and I did start it, but I didn't get very far. So that's, how far did I get? 100 pages or so, 103. Yeah, this was really good in the beginning, and I wish I would have got further, but not finished. After Les Mis, number 31 is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, and I did not have time to even start this, and it is still one of the most intimidating books on my shelves. And then number 32 was The Metamorphosis and Other Stories by Franz Kafka, and I did read those stories for the week of Weird, and I really liked The Metamorphosis, and the other ones were pretty good too. Number 33 was The Sound and the Fury, and I did read this William Faulkner book. It was my first Faulkner, and I hated it. Yeah, I really, really hated it. I had a beautiful leather-bound edition, and I unhauled it because I hated it so much. Oh, sad day. Number 34 is, well, let's say number 34, 35, and 36 were The Divine Comedy by Dante, Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso, and I didn't read any of these. I didn't even start it. So it's still on the bucket list, I guess. And then my last, the last 4 books were Charles Dickens books from this collection of novels, and I read one of the 4. I read A Tale of Two Cities. It was pretty good. Not as good as Christmas Carol, which is the other book that I've read in here. I love that, and I wouldn't mind reading that every Christmas because it's just such a classic, right? Tale of Two Cities, pretty good story. Nothing like Christmas Carol, but it was bigger with a lot more meat on the bone, I guess. It was a pretty good story. The ones I didn't get to were Great Expectations, Hard Times, and Oliver Twist. So I still need to get to those at some point. That's all the books that were on my 40 before 40 list, and I finished about half. I finished 18 books out of 40, and I started 4 more, but I did not finish them. And then there was 18 books that I didn't finish, so I finished 18. I never started 18, and then the 4 in the middle, so it's pretty much half and half, right? I am gonna put those 18 plus 4, 22 books that I did not get to for my 40 before 40 challenge onto a 50 before 50 challenge. They're still prioritized. I want to read these books. And I have some more to pick out. That's how I did on my challenge. Let me know about if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, and any of the 22 that I should prioritize on the top of the list that are your favorites. Love to know down in the comments, and I'll be back very soon with another book related video. Thanks. Bye.